Hello, and welcome once again to Story Time with Oliver Covington. This week's story is called Iced Tea from my book The Greatest Story Never Written in Others. If you're of a mind to please like and subscribe. Enjoy. He arrived home from school just like every other day, entering the house through the back door into the almond and stainless steel kitchen. The cat quickly padding across the dark brown linoleum floor to rub across his legs, which had nothing to do with affection and more to do with "I'm hungry." He set his backpack down on the kitchen chair, and noticed the empty iced tea pitcher on the counter. His mother loved her iced tea, and she claimed no one made it as good as he did. He always joked he at least have that to put on his resume when he finally finished school and started looking for a job. His stream of consciousness was disturbed by his mother calling out to him. "That you, Mikey?" She emerged from the small half bath off the kitchen, dressed in her blue terry cloth robe, her hair in curlers, her face half made up. She smiled when she saw her in her eyes perfect 14-year-old son, but it wasn't her normal smile, it was her don't be mad smile. "Yeah, Ma, it's me. Aren't you getting a bit fancy for work?" He looked at her questioningly. "Sweetie, guess what? You're gonna have dinner with your dad tonight." "I have plans." She started taking the rollers out of her hair as she talked. "Plans? Plans with who?" His question came with an edge because he already knew the answer. "Lloyd's stopping by," she said matter-of-factly. Mikey's rage was barely contained as he glared at her. "Lloyd? Are you serious?" He could feel himself turning red. "Now don't you take that tone with me, mister. I'm still your mother." She tried to regain some control of the situation. "Ma, he beat the shit out of you. He cheated on you. He beat the shit out of me, for fuck's sake." His anger was running amok, there was no controlling it now. "Don't you swear at me." She lit one of her Marlboro lights from the pack on the table. Exhaling a large cloud of smoke, she continued. "Look, he said he was sorry, and I really think he meant it this time. He's been in therapy. He's changed." She looked at her son with pleading eyes. "He changed the last 3 times too. Why are you doing this?" He was on the verge of tears. "He says he loves me, and you. He wants to try again." She nervously crushed out the cigarette, and went back to the little half bath to finish putting on her makeup. "He hasn't changed, he will never change." Mikey stood in front of the half bath practically screaming at his mother. "Do you not remember how long it took to finally get rid of him? To finally get him out of our house? And now you're letting him back in?" His mother slammed her lipstick down on the sink. "Don't raise your voice at me. It's just for one night." She tried to regain her composure. "Right, one night, then another, then you're picking your teeth up off the floor and he's banging the whore down the street." Mikey threw his hands up and walked away. His mother chased after him. "Baby, I swear it won't be like that this time. I promise." He promised. "Now, I got to get dressed and your dad will be here in a quick minute. Do me a favor and make me a pitcher of tea? Please? You make it so good." "Huh?" She stroked his hair, and he could feel her hand shaking. "Fine, whatever." She gave him a half-hearted smile and headed towards her bedroom to finish dressing. He measured out the iced tea mix into the pitcher, and began to fill it with water, first hot to dissolve the crystals, and then cold. Mikey knew deep down the only way to protect his mother from Lloyd was to protect her from herself. He knelt down and opened the cabinet below the sink, and pulled out a small blue box of Topper's Rat Kill. A tear rolled down his cheek as he poured half the box into the iced tea and continued to stir. He wasn't going to let Lloyd hurt her again, and this was the only way, in his mind, to get her to not take him back. He added several ice cubes to the pitcher, and placed the blue box back under the sink. Topping the pitcher off with a bit more water, he wiped up the counter, and his face with a paper towel. Just then he heard a horn honk, and knew his dad had arrived. "Dad's here, I'm going. Iced tea is on the counter." His voice caught in his throat a bit. "All right, sweetie, have a good time. I love you. You know that, right?" "Yeah, Ma, I love you too." He headed out of the house, closing the back door behind him. His mother emerged from the bedroom, smiled, knowing everything would work out for the best this time, and poured herself a large glass of iced tea.